Cool, so for anyone who doesn't know me, my name's Colin, I'm a trainer in the area. I've been working as a trainer here in Folsom for about 4 years. For today we're going to be talking about common ways you can reduce your risk of injury in the gym. The reason we're doing this is over the last few years I've seen quite a few injuries as far as overuse things that are going on. We're going to be talking about what I feel causes a lot of those, and then we'll spend a few minutes going over some strategies, some areas to think about that can help you lower the odds that you get injured in the first place. The reason being, getting hurt sucks, it throws you off your game, it can make other things in your daily life even worse, it makes it harder to do basic things. So it's something to keep in mind as far as simple things that can help you out in the long term. So in terms of injuries, the most common reason I see people getting hurt, whether it's lifting or doing some other type of sport, is simply doing too much too soon. Not groundbreaking stuff, but that's the most common. Injuries are complicated. There's numerous factors at play. We're going to talk about some of those areas, but this is not meant to be taken as medical advice. This is just common things that I see within training, exercise, sports, those types of things. If you are currently dealing with a medical injury, I highly encourage you to go seek out help from a medical doctor or a licensed physical therapist, someone in the sports medicine field. This is just general advice. When I refer to injuries for today, we're just talking about aches, pains, and strains. We're not going to get into the nitty-gritty of mechanisms behind some type of tissue injury, things like that, a broken bone. If you get hit in a car accident, that's an entirely different thing from overuse type of injuries. So too much too soon. What we're talking about with that is your body has a capacity level. So think about the last time you hopped in an elevator. Did you see a sign that said this elevator has a capacity limit of X amount of pounds? Yeah? So our bodies have a capacity as well, but the difference is an elevator has a set limit. It's built, it's designed with material, it stays at that limit. Our bodies adapt, so our capacity can change. That goes both ways. So one thing to think about, what happens to astronauts that go up into the International Space Station, to their bodies at least? Any ideas?
Well, it adapts the wrong way because their bones are mineralized. There's no gravity.
There's no gravity.
The opposite.
Exactly. There's nothing pushing down on them, so their body doesn't have some kind of stimulus, right? So their body's adapting, going one direction. Do you know what they do to keep their bodies from starting to atrophy while they're up at the space station? Exactly. They do a lot of weightlifting. They do aerobic training, like treadmills, where they're strapped to it. There was an interview I listened to a few months ago where they talked to the human performance staff for NASA, and they would have these guys working out for upwards of 2+ hours a day. And you got to think, it sounds like a lot, but they're also not in gravity at all the rest of the day. They're completely suspended, so they actually need to work out more. Otherwise, when they come back down to Earth, they would probably break their bones just tripping and falling a little bit. They'd probably break everything in their leg. Who knows? But that's just goes to show you your body can adapt either way in terms of you can lose capacity, you can increase your body's capacity. So your tolerance to stuff can change. Unlike this table where it might have a weight limit, it only is built for that much, your body can go up and down. You're also not going to stay at the same place forever. So you need to maintain it or it starts to go in that other direction. So that's really what it comes down to doing too much too soon. Your body has a capacity, you go way beyond. In terms of things that I've seen in the area with a lot of gyms, people will spend a long time not doing anything for their health, and their body gets used to a certain capacity limit. They may have started to lose muscle mass or their bones start to get softer. They're not doing anything to move around. And then they decide, hey, today's the day, I'm going to get after it. I want to achieve this goal. My doctor said I need to lose or decrease my blood pressure this much. I'm going to find a place to go in. And they go in at a certain capacity, and the gym will say, hey, we're going to do this crazy challenge. We're doing something like 100 push-ups, run a mile. Everyone's doing that, regardless of where your body's at. And that's where I see people go way beyond what their body can currently handle. Before we get any further, that's not to say that, hey, if you do anything like that, you're guaranteed to get hurt. It's not that black and white. But your odds do start to go up. So it's all about being smart about this and knowing, hey, if I'm at a certain level right now, if it's been a while, maybe I want to ease into this. I just want to dip my toes in the water instead of jumping all the way in. Questions so far? Okay. So that's the biggest thing in terms of injuries. Too much too soon. So what are some practical ways that you can reduce the odds that you pull something, you tear something, you tweak your back in the gym? These are the biggest areas that we're going to talk about that you can use to manage the odds and lower the odds that you get in the first place. The first one is highlight this. Gradual progression. So unlike the first example where we say you walk into a gym and they say, hey, we're doing this crazy challenge, everyone's doing 100 push-ups, everyone's going to run a mile. You would not do that, and you would build up from somewhere that you're at right now. So maybe you can walk around the block. Or maybe you can do 5 push-ups. And nothing hurts, you feel that your muscles are starting to get a little fatigued, your body's getting used to something, nothing's feeling off yet. Okay, so that's your starting place. You have your starting point, and with gradual progression, maybe over an extended period of time, you start to build that up. Maybe this is week 1, and then in week 2, we walk around the block 2 times. And then we go from 5 push-ups to 10. And you can do this with a lot of different things. So say I've taken a break from the sport, I got injured, maybe I tweaked my knee, I went through a rehab process, and I'm going back to playing, let's say, ice hockey. I don't want to go back into a full high-intensity match where I'm going absolutely max effort and really testing the limits of my knee, because my capacity on my knee might have changed. So maybe I just go in and I start skating at an easy intensity for a few weeks. A couple months in, maybe I start going at a little bit higher intensity, just a little bit, but not a crazy jump. And then over time, maybe I start to go into easy matches, and then gradually harder matches, and then maybe longer matches instead of just a set hour-long match. So that's gradual progression. The second one is nutrition. Nutrition can get kind of messy, especially with a lot of the stuff you'll see on the internet with social media. You'll hear things be demonized. Hey, don't eat carbs. Oh my gosh, seed oils are the devil. This ingredient is the worst. This is going to kill you. It's not that black and white. In terms of nutrition, you want to have a mix of what are called macronutrients. A mix of carbs, a mix of fats, and proteins. You do need all 3. How much of each, that's going to depend on you. If you're looking for specific guidance on how much of those to eat, the best resource you can go to is speaking with a registered dietitian nutritionist. Not so much someone that calls themselves a nutritionist, because you can get a weekend cert on the internet and someone could say they're a nutritionist, they have no idea what they're talking about. A registered dietitian is someone with a master's degree. Typically, they're licensed. They work in a clinical setting, so they can help you if you have a medical issue, if you're diabetic, you are coming off of a surgery, you need to adjust your diet, things like that. Other resources, write this down here. MyPlate.gov. This is a government website that goes over things like portion sizes and does a pretty simple breakdown about vitamins, minerals, and just the basics of nutrition and health. With nutrition, it's more than just calories in, calories out. A lot of people think of it in those terms, but nutrition is also the vitamins, the minerals that our bodies use to heal, to fight off disease, things like that. So a little bit about me. Before I started working in this industry, I worked in the military, and when I was in the military, I went through a school called Ranger School. In that school, to make it really challenging, they take away your food, they take away your food, and they stress you out. And what happens when they take those things away, your body starts to fall apart. So people start to lose muscle mass. Average weight loss is about 20 plus pounds. Your immune system starts to shut down. Everyone started the course with a shaved head. Your hair doesn't grow back for way longer because you're not taking in the nutrients that you need. If you get a cut on your hands from a vine ripping your hand open, it doesn't heal. On top of that, because things don't heal, people start to get lots of infections that would normally cause you to have to go to the hospital. These are infections that would not happen out here because we're eating a lot of nutrients, a lot of minerals, and we're not as stressed out. So those things can really take a toll on your body and limit the chances that your body can fight something off, like a cold or some serious disease, if that makes sense. Next one, sleep. Pretty much everyone here knows general guidance for sleep. What do you guys think average amount of sleep is recommended for amount of sleep for health?
7 to 9 hours.
7 to 9 hours. So there are certainly people out there that can handle less than 7 hours and they feel great. It's safe to say, assume that you are not one of those people. Commit to something in that range, 7 to 9, and try and keep it in a rhythm. There's a lot of research coming out now that's saying just because you get hours of sleep is not the only thing that can affect your health. It's also health. It's also your rhythm around sleep. So are you waking up and going to bed around the same time every day? It's basically jet lag. So I've been jet lagged before. When you switch a time zone, it throws that rhythm off. Your body doesn't know when do I wake up, when do I start going to bed, because there's a hormone switch there. When your body sees sunlight, hormones are released, you start to feel awake. When the sun starts to go down, hormones kick in, you start to feel tired. Things that can mess with that, if you have a lot of bright lights in your house at night, your body's going to think it might be still daytime. It's not going to want to fall asleep as easily. Things like blackout curtains help if you have a weird sleep schedule. Just 7 to 9 hours is the basic rule of thumb there. And last one is stress. Going back to the exercise example where people will go into a gym and they'll say, I'm going to take on this very intense fitness challenge. You have to keep in mind that these areas are going to affect the results that you get with an exercise routine. So if you're not eating, you're not sleeping, those are going to stress your body out. And if your life in general is getting crazy, you're going through a divorce, you lose a family member, you're just stressed about a new job that you lost, those things are going to impact your body as well. So it's something to be aware of if you're taking on something physically demanding, that maybe if something is going hard in terms of a workout and these areas aren't in order, it's okay to dial it back on the intensity piece and try to pick it up on one of these other areas to kind of make up for that. So that way you're not burning the candle at both ends and you're not going to wear yourself out. So that's pretty much everything. Questions?
Yeah. So how far